Let's tell the truth that many people don't want to say out loud. It's not that you're too much. It's not that you're doing too much. It's that your beauty, your confidence, your being self-assured activates something in people that they haven't healed. And instead of doing their work, they try to humble you. Welcome to Heal the New Sex, where we discuss all things healing, self-love, and relationships. My name is Cynthia. I'm a licensed therapist and coach, and I want to talk about why your beauty triggers people and why you get attacked for it. So, as a therapist, I've seen this pattern over and over again, especially with women who are not just beautiful, right? They're beauty and brains. And I want to be very clear over here. When I speak about beauty, I'm not just speaking about physical beauty. I believe there's a beauty in all of us. There's a light in all of us. And it triggers some people, especially people who are unhealed and they haven't done their work. But women that are self-assured and emotionally aware and grounded in who they are, trigger people. It's not the beauty. You remember that show? It's like, it's not the beauty, it's your booty. It was a movie. I'm sorry, right? But it's the confidence that you have, the self-possession, the peace that you contain. That's what triggers them. So if you ever felt like people nitpick at you, they compete with you, misunderstand you, even if it seems like they are intentionally misunderstand you, sabotage you, or even try to tear you down, this video, I hope, explains and helps you to understand why you are experiencing this. I remember last year I did a video called Pretty Jealous, and this year I got a comment on it from somebody who isn't part of the Healed Squad, and this person attacked me. And from that video, I got other attacks. It's always 6 and 7s having this conversation and not 9 and 10s. And something that I've realized as a woman, first of all, I'm a beautiful woman. I don't care what nobody say. My beauty is defined by me. It's not defined by societal standards or how someone views me. I'm also a very confident woman. I'm self-assured. But one thing I understand is that people will attempt to attack they will attempt to attack what they view of you physically. Because we live in a society that, I guess they think that everyone is superficial. And so they attempt to attack how you look in order to attack your self-esteem. But that's child's play. But let's get into it. You expose their insecurities. I love Ashley Dalton. I love how she tells the girls to work on their physical body, to put some lip gloss on, to put the clothes on, and to go outside. I love it. But what I see happening to her and other women who show up like she does, not because you just want the attention of men, but because that's who you are, I see these women being attacked by men and women who may not put the same effort into their appearance. They may view that as superficial or shallow, or they see you as a mirror. And not everyone likes what they see reflected back. Because what you can highlight is their lack of confidence, their self-doubt, their lack of preservation, their lack of putting the work in, their lack of believing in themselves. You may highlight their imposter syndrome. You may highlight ways that they have abandoned themselves. And instead of asking what they can do in order to make themselves more confident and feel better in themselves, they will start asking what's wrong with you. So even as a woman who's gone through breast cancer, you would be amazed at how many people make comments about my body. Why do you look like that? Why do you dress like that? Why you need to grow your hair out? I just got done with chemo last year. Okay, don't you see this chemo perm coming through? But it's not about my physical appearance, and it's not about your physical appearance. You are a mirror. Matter of fact, sometimes you have to realize that people are really turned off by you. How can you be so confident? How can you move that way? How come you manifest those things? Or how come you speak those things that be not as though they were, and then it shows up in your life? How come? And you look pretty while you do it. Listen, you'll always hear things like, she thinks she's all that. She's stuck up. She's intimidating. You think you're better than us just because you did ABC 1, 2, 3. And that's why I also see online, I see certain people, not because, I'm just going to say it this way. There are certain people online in certain spaces that get attacked by their beauty. And there are going to be people, there was the lady who, she called me narcissistic because I said what I said in the Pretty Jealous video. But the truth is, there are women who are attacked because of their beauty. There are women, I'm going to give an example. I think she's polarizing, but nevertheless, I think Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, because she's decided to show up in the mental health space, the way she dresses and how she carries herself, a clinician's not supposed to do that. A therapist is not supposed to know you are triggered by her beauty. And she's intelligent, and she's confident, and she's self-assured, and you have an issue with that. And so you tear down her physical appearance because 9 times out of 10, you can't say anything about how she's competent. And I know some of you may be like that. And it usually always happens to women. What people want you to do when they are intimidated by you, when you trigger them, they want you to shrink. And some of you are watching this video because you have shrank. You don't show up as your authentic self. You don't take up the space in the room. You don't show your brilliance. You are hiding because somebody else has a problem with how you show up being a mirror. And I want to tell you today, that's none of your business and that's not your problem. You are to take up the space. Don't hide your beauty. Don't hide your brilliance. Take up space. I want you to know that you disrupt social hierarchies. Let's go deeper. Every environment, friend groups, workplaces, even families, has a unspoken hierarchy. And people get comfortable knowing where they stand. But when you show up beautiful, confident, not seeking validation, maybe even in your family, you are beautiful. You come from a family of beautiful women. Everyone's beautiful, but you've decentered men. So these women struggle with codependency, are in unhealthy relationships, go from one unhealthy relationship to another, need men to take care of them and sustain them. And here it is, you went to school, you got your degree, and now you think you know everything. Oop. Long story short, you disrupt that system. You're not playing the role they assigned you. And when people can't control your position, they try to control your perception. Ain't it funny how you hear a whole lot of talk and chatter about you, but it's not even really who you are? Because you got to be careful of people who try to control how other people view and see you and how other people experience you. I can't get to you physically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to poison people about how they view and how they see you, because I'm really intimidated by you. I'm really triggered by you. And I don't want people to know that, yes, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're kind, but you also have a generous heart. So I want to skew the perception of who you are. When I think about this, I think about, and I don't know her, I think about Dr. What's her name? Carrie Bryant. I think about her and the recent event that happened with her dress. Now, I know some of you are going to disagree with me, but I feel like there was a character assassination. She wore a dress that her husband wanted her to wear at a gala, and people got upset. There's a standard. They were at a gala. They were not a church event, a gala. And Dr. Carrie Turner Bryant, a beautiful woman, was attacked, called a Jezebel. Oh, she knew what she was doing when she wore that dress. She was trying to cause men to love. No, she was being beautiful for her husband because he bought the dress and he wanted her to wear it. And I'm glad to see her that she's back on the Tamron Hall show. But there are a lot of people who are trying to skew the perception of her, don't even know her, have never experienced her off of a dress. And this happens a lot. This is the policing of women. And it happens between friend groups, your family, religious institutions, in the media. It happens in all these places. So now you're labeled as difficult, misunderstood. You may even be excluded. Not because of who you are, but because of what you represent. And you represent confidence. You represent being secure in your own skin. And let's be for real. This is not just for women who may fit the social society standard. These are even for women who are outside of the standard. Maybe this woman is overweight, but she's confident. She's about her business. And then people want to attack her. She may be brilliant. Remember the young lady who, she was on TikTok and she talked about believing that she was unattractive, but to me, I see the beauty in everyone. And people even had something to say about her. How does she think she does? It really gives, I don't feel good about myself, so I'm going to attack someone else. And we call this, as relates to like in romantic relationships, negging, where a man will pick at you or say something to you in order to lower how you view and see yourself so that he could get easier access to you. And I feel like for some women, many women probably experience this in different levels, that there is an attack on you, especially if you're a confident woman. If you feel comfortable in your skin, then people want to attack you. You may have done nothing to them, but people want to attack you. My third point is that you refuse to perform humility. This one might hit. A lot of people are only comfortable with beauty if it's paired with over-explaining, downplaying yourself, meaning you don't accept compliments. You go, oh, it's okay, and making others feel superior. But when you decide to sit at the table in all of your glory, like the queen you are, suck up all the air out of the room, now people want to have an issue with you. In other words, you're beautiful, but you're not palatable. See, they want you to be, what was that movie? What was that blonde movie with, was it Legally Blonde? That's how they want you to show up. They want you to be beautiful. And I had a conversation with a client the other day. They want you to be beautiful, but they want you to be dumb. Why? Because there is a whole system that can play on your beauty. That's it. That's it. They don't want you to have beauty and brains. They want you to be palatable. They want you to be controllable. And that's why they attack you, because they feel like you are superficial, because they have bought into the lies of society. And so they will come at you and then they will attack what you wear. That's why you could go to work and one person can wear one thing and you wear another, but now you in HR. But when you don't show up as palatable, when you accept compliments without deflecting, when you take up space, when you don't overcompensate, then they want to be uncomfortable with you. Why can't you just be your full and authentic self? Have you ever taken a moment to kind of think about, why does society have a problem with women who want to show up and be all that they are? Why is that threatening? Why is it that you are beautiful and articulate, and then there are people who want to tear you down? Oh, you mispronounced that word, or you did this, or you did that. Oh, I really don't like this. Or they want to come and they want to, why? Whether it's online or your family and your friends, girl, you going to wear that? You look like you done gained a little bit of weight, but you feel beautiful. This makes people uncomfortable, because now they can't place you in a box. We have to understand the social constraints that people try to wrap us in, the boxes that people try to put us in. And when you make the decision that you are going to be defined by no one but the Lord and yourself, people have a problem with that. They have a problem when you decide to be your authentic self. They have a problem when you decide that the world is going to get you and you're going to live fearless. They have a problem with that. They have a problem that you are brave and bold enough to not play the game, but to create your own environment where you will thrive. They have a problem with that. How dare you? I've bought into what society says it should be. And here it is, you've decided to take up the space and to be your own boss and to show up and to make your own rules and to play, and you're winning. I want you to know that you activate competition, but not connection. And you may even be looking for connection, but because of how you show up, you activate competition. Some people don't know how to be inspired by beauty. And by beauty, it doesn't even have to be physical beauty. Somebody can be jealous of you, how your brain works, how you articulate your words. You may be a poet, and you are trying to figure out, why is this person bothered by me, bothered by my mere existence? They only know, these type of people only know how to compete with it. So instead of clapping for you, say, wow, she's amazing. I'm inspired by her. I'm in awe with her. It becomes, how do I measure up to her? And how can I outdo her? You ever had a friend, and I just had this conversation, you may share things with her and then she goes and does the very things that you said that you wanted to do. You want to go get your hair cut a certain way. You want to apply to a school or apply to a job. I remember having a person in my life who I thought it was a friend apply for the same job I applied for, and then got upset when she didn't get hired for it. And I did. You ever paid attention to how there are people that set themselves up to compete with you when you yourself are not competing with anyone? You are in your own lane. You have your own mind set up. You know what your dreams are and you're going after it, but they are competing with you because you've triggered competition in them, even though you were trying to connect with them. Because you can care for people and want the best for people, but because how you show up taking up space and they feel insecure, I'm not going to say inferior, but definitely insecure because they don't have their self-esteem at the level they need it in order to be successful in their life. Now, all of a sudden, they have a problem with you. Now they want to compete with you, and you guys are called to two separate things, two different things. You're supposed to have two different lives, but they don't want to clap for you. These people are trying to diminish you, not because you did anything wrong, but because your presence challenges their identity. It challenges how they view and see themselves. And this is the thing, when something challenges a person, it's for them to do their internal work. It's for them to figure out, okay, why is this bothering me? And I'm going to tell you why. Because you remind people of who they could be. You know, the thing is, you can be inspiring to a person and they also hate your guts. I love Beyonce. Can't nobody not make me love her. Beyonce is inspiring. I love the thing that she is doing in her life right now. But there are also people who hate her for how she shows up. She's changed the game in ways. She's done things that people have never done. I don't even think people have even imagined doing the things that she's done. But there are people who don't even listen to her music, who don't care for her, who have a negative connotation of her. Because she's a woman who decided to show up in all that she's wanted to be. Another woman that I love is Condoleezza Rice. She is brilliant and she is bad. I love Oprah. There are women. Oh, I think her last name is Johnson. The one, I think she was the Sheila Johnson. Brilliant, bad. But do you know the adversity that these women had to fight every day to be where they are? Oprah did a trend on I forget, like go in no contact with your parents, I think it was. It came and she apologized. She was like, I used the word trend. I understand. But imagine being Oprah, and I don't know exactly how old she is, but having to use the word, but having to come back and apologize because people were attacking her when we use trends to describe certain things we see in data. But you remind people of who they could be. Your confidence isn't just seen, it's felt. And for people who have abandoned themselves, that can feel confronting. Your existence confronts them being mediocre. Your consistency. And this is the thing. It may be that you decided that I had a girlfriend recently tell me that she was told by her dietitian, do not tell people that you have set up to lose weight because they will try to sabotage you. She said, people compliment me on my weight loss, but I don't say anything. You could just be consistent in the gym, consistent doing the Pilates, consistent doing the hot yoga, and somebody has an issue with that. Now, all of a sudden, because you are perimenopausal, but you losing weight, body looking like Angela Bassett, all of a sudden, now it's an issue? Listen, you're a reminder that they could choose themselves, that they could heal, that they could show up differently, but that requires accountability. And we live in a society where some people do not want to take accountability as it relates to their life. Instead, they want to complain about the circumstances of their life. And they look at you, I remember a client telling me about how she had to change social circles because of things that were happening in her life and it was getting weird. And I just told her, listen, people are not offended by that. They're offended by your confidence. They are offended that what's his name? Coach Prime. People are offended by his confidence, how he went to that school and did what he said he was going to do. People are offended by your confidence. People are offended by how you can speak something out your mouth and that you can be consistent and you can do it. They're offended by it. It may be something like, girl, this is the year I get married. What? Girl, this is the year my business make $100,000. What? And then it happens? It shines a light on them. And this is the thing. You are living your life. You minding your business. And they get upset with you. And now all of a sudden, instead of doing the work, it's easier to criticize you than to rise to a level of self-devotion that gets them to the spaces and the places where they want to be. You buy a new house. I wouldn't buy a house that young. I wouldn't buy a house in the economy when the interest rates are this. Like, why are you doing that? Home ownership is expensive. I would rather live in an apartment. If you can't buy the house, then you can't buy the house. But why be upset with me? Because I saved my money for not the deposit. What am I saying? For the what's that thing? Not the deposit. The down payment, right? I saved my money for the down payment. I paid down my debt. I made sure my credit was right. I didn't make any major purchases within a year. I got a good realtor who was knowledgeable, who got me in this home, and I don't have to worry about the interest rate because I have a good credit. I was able to build this home up from the ground up, and you're upset with me because you don't have the same opportunity, or you're upset with me because you don't have the courage to do it yourself because you don't feel deserving. You are overwhelmed by it. So instead of saying, congratulations, I'm proud of you, you want to pick apart an accomplishment. You may graduate from college and not none of your family show up. Be mindful of the people who make a decision to criticize you instead of clap for you. They don't want what's best for you. So if you've been feeling attacked, misunderstood, or isolated, I want you to hear me today. Your beauty is not the problem. Your confidence is not the problem. Your presence is not the problem. You are simply no longer participating in environments that require you to shrink. And that will always trigger people who are negotiating their self-worth. And you're no longer doing that. Or you've never done that. Listen, I want to hear from you down below. I tell some of my coaching clients this. If you're still here, put still here down below in the comments, because usually by this time people have, clicked off. But I usually tell clients, as it relates to this YouTube thing, and I'm going to share this and be transparent with you, I get more attacks on my physical appearance than the things that I say. And that's what motivated me to do this video, because I know for sure that if what I was saying was wrong, people are like, no, that's wrong. The research says this or that. But if you decide to get in the social media space, or if you just decide to live your life in a way that is pleasing and satisfying to you, you have to be mindful, especially as a woman, that people are going to reduce you to your physical appearance, and they're going to attempt to attack you in order to dissuade you, in order to see if they can make you conform. And I want you every day to make a decision to live life on your terms. And like the lady on TikTok, you become an unpunishable woman. Keep showing up. Keep taking up space. Keep being your authentic self. And don't allow anybody who has a problem with how you show up, you move them outside. They can't get in the club anymore. This is Heal the New Sexy. My name is Cynthia.